In the heart of West Africa, from the sunlit grasslands of Senegal to the wide plains of Nigeria, lives one of Africa's most fascinating ethnic groups, the Fulani, also called Fub or Fulanis. Their story stretches across 1,000 years and many borders. The Fulani are believed to have originated from the Senegambia region, near present-day Senegal and Guinea, around the 11th century. Over generations, they migrated eastward through the Sahel region, herding cattle, following water and grazing routes, and spreading their language and Islamic beliefs. By the 13th century, they had entered northern Nigeria. Unlike most nomadic groups, the Fulani were deeply religious and scholarly. They memorized the Quran, mastered Arabic, and valued knowledge. Many Fulani families became known for their Islamic learning, while others remained pastoralists, traveling across vast lands with their cattle. Their arrival in Hausa land, places like Kano, Katsina, and Zaria, marked a turning point in Nigerian history. They didn't conquer through war at first. Instead, they integrated peacefully, becoming respected teachers, imams, and advisors. But the injustices they witnessed among the Hausa rulers would later spark a revolution that would change the course of West African history. Among the Fulani rose a man who would shape an empire through faith, knowledge, and fire, Usman Dan Fodio. Usman Dan Fodio, born in 1754 in Gobe, now Sokoto State, Nigeria, was a Fulani Islamic scholar and reformer. He spent years teaching the people, calling for spiritual reform and condemning the corruption of Hausa rulers. He preached against high taxation, injustice, and the oppression of the poor. As his influence grew, the rulers of Gobe felt threatened and began to persecute him and his followers. Forced into exile, Usman Dan Fodio declared a jihad in 1804, launching one of the most significant religious revolutions in African history. The Fulani and their allies swept across Hausa lands, defeating powerful kingdoms one after another. By 1810, they had overthrown most of the old Hausa rulers and established the Sokoto Caliphate. This caliphate, ruled by Islamic law, Sharia, became a powerful theocratic empire stretching across much of northern Nigeria and beyond, covering parts of modern Niger, Cameroon, and northern Benin. Usman Dan Fodio passed leadership to his son Muhammad Bello and trusted lieutenants, creating a decentralized system of amirs who governed large regions under the authority of the Sultan of Sokoto. But the caliphate wasn't just about war and conquest, it was a center of knowledge, law, and Islamic civilization that flourished for nearly a century. At the height of its power, the Sokoto Caliphate was home to thousands of scholars and students. It had one of the most literate societies in Africa. Quranic schools, Islamic universities, and libraries were everywhere. Scholars wrote books on theology, history, mathematics, and law. One of the most famous was Nana Asmayu, daughter of Usman Dan Fodio, a poet, scholar, and teacher of women. Under Fulani rule, cities like Kano, Sokoto, and Katsina became major intellectual and commercial hubs. Trade in textiles, horses, leather goods, and Islamic books thrived. But then came a new threat, not from within Africa, but from across the sea. In the early 1900s, the British Empire began its expansion into northern Nigeria. Though the Fulani resisted bravely, especially under Sultan Atahiru I, British military technology and strategy proved too strong. In 1903, British forces stormed Sokoto, ending the political sovereignty of the Caliphate. Yet the British, impressed by the Fulani system of governance, chose to adopt it. Through indirect rule, they retained the Fulani amirs, allowing them to administer their regions under colonial supervision. Thus, the Fulani continued to hold authority even under foreign rule. Today, the Fulani are one of the largest ethnic groups in Nigeria, numbering over 20 million people. They are spread across the northern states and exist in two major groups, the urban Fulani and the pastoral, nomadic Fulani, known as Bororoen. Urban Fulani are integrated into Nigerian society as scholars, politicians, teachers, and businessmen. The pastoral Fulani still travel with their cattle from the savannas to the forest zones in search of pasture. The Fulani have produced many of Nigeria's most prominent leaders. Sir Ahmadu Bello, Premier of Northern Nigeria. Shehu Shagori, the first executive president. Muhammadu Buhari, Nigeria's former president. However, modern challenges such as conflict between herders and farmers, land disputes, and insecurity have sparked tension across the country. These issues often paint the Fulani in a negative light, leading to misunderstanding and division. But behind the headlines is a people with a rich cultural heritage, a long history of intellect, religion, leadership, and resilience. Their story is not just Nigerian, it is African. From nomads of West Africa to the founders of a great Islamic empire. From herders of cattle to rulers of kingdoms. The Fulani journey is one of courage, faith, and legacy. This is not just history, it is a living heritage, still beating in the heart of Africa today. If you enjoyed this story, like, comment, and subscribe for more African history on this channel.